As the founder of the Tyrell Corporation, Eldon Tyrell had access to unfathomable wealth, power, and technology. In order to colonize and explore habitable areas for off-world colonies, the Tyrell Corporation manufactured replicants. These replicants were just like humans, although often possessing superior strength and greater or equal intellect in comparison to their genetic designers. The Nexus 6 variety of replicants produced up until 2019 possessed strength and intellect, but were not equipped to live longer than 4 years in an effort to curb rebellions and limit their danger. Tyrell developed Rachel along these Nexus 6 models, although including significant differences. She was implanted with memories given by Tyrell's niece to better control her. Falling back on memories gave Rachel a sense of reality and purpose, evening out her emotions and testing to see the effectiveness of such an experiment for future Nexus 6 models. Whether Rachel was the only Nexus 7 produced is unknown. Tyrell also gave her more than 4 years of life, the exact amount remaining unknown, as she died in childbirth on June 10th, 2021. Given that Rachel had implanted memories and was not told that she was a replicant, she believed she was human.
Private log start Delta 9. And Mother, I want this filed under Orchid. You've cleared my afternoon?
Yes, sir.
Well, this had better be worth it. Do we have the room?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's see what you've got. Pull up G12.
Yes, sir. Analysis of the data provided by Dr. Jeffries and Dr. Iris from Project Caduceus brought back many previously unexamined notions of C66. After collating, I've identified 13 viable candidates for the placement of the radiation mapping array structure installed inside the Black Egg. These sites are all within the broadcast and rebroadcast margins, and more importantly, all have been turned down for atmosphere processing in the last 2 intracycles and are on the YU blacklist.
What about proximity to Zone 4?
All 13 candidates have roughly equal distance to the signature zone designated number 4. Candidates 4, 9, and 13 are closest, but there are issues with terrain and weather to consider.
I know you have one in mind, so just say it.
I believe LV-213 is worth close examination. Probe data indicates breathable atmosphere. It's all mountain ranges with a thick fog concealing steep cliffs. It's dangerous, inhospitable, and the last place anyone would want to terraform. Selling it to the board will be tricky for multiple reasons. Supply cycle, communication windows. However, it would be entirely concealed, and research could go on in secrecy. It could be pitched as the most discreet, if not necessarily the safest option.
All right, let's work it up. Terry and his team will be in next week, and we're all on this for now. We'll give them the facility they want, the secrecy they want, and the staff they want. And while they make their precious death machine, you and I will find the progenitors ourselves. Well done, Violet.
Thank you, sir.
By now you've all read the Iris report, or you should have, and I want to address it now, because I'm tired of pretending that it's not important. The founder of this company was lost in his pursuit of the origins of his species. We can and must continue that search. We must do it now while we have the resources. We must do it now that we know where to go, and we know that the door is open. You have a responsibility to Peter Wayland, to this company, and to yourselves to continue this pursuit. I was told I was key to this company's future. A great deal of resources have been put behind what I'm capable of. And after what I agreed to, what I showed you how to do, I believe that I am owed this. I know you'll do the right thing here. Fund the Promethea expedition. Help me find these progenitors. They're calling. They're calling us home.
Hello and welcome everyone to this month's episode of Aliens. We are here. We are very excited to be here because, you know, it's the day of aliens. It only comes once a month, and you know, we are happy that it's here. And you know, last month was December and was difficult around the holidays to get everything together, so we have not played in a hot minute and we have all missed it terribly. So we are here. We're gonna go around and we're gonna say who we are and who we're playing. I will start with myself since I'm already talking. I am Laugh Lovely and I'll be playing Captain, reluctant, begrudging Captain, originally medic, Mick Heelson. And, you know, they are just thrilled about the situation that we're in. And I'm sure that everything's gonna be fine. I'm sure everything's gonna be fine, especially since we ran into a creepy, we're gonna call it a cult. I don't know what Travis is gonna say about it, but it's basically, we'll see how that goes. Someone who may or may not be ready to face said possible cult, deception check. How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah, deception check here, playing Hank Granger. He's a bit of a company man, and maybe not so much anymore, and a bit of a Blade Runner who doesn't like all synthetics, but is warming up to one particular one that has a lot of death machines under her control. Looking forward to not getting killed by those this evening. Thanks.
Thank you. Someone who's also hopefully looking forward to not getting killed by them this evening is Shiny Pilot. How are you?
Yes, absolutely looking forward to not getting killed by anything, but hopefully killing some things, because, you know, we gotta kill something, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Anyways, yeah. I'll be playing Blaze. He's a career Marine. Not the best, brightest, or ablest, but he's career Marine, and here he is on this fun little planet with all his fun friends, dealing with fun little aliens and experiences.
I feel like with the exception of this next person, that describes most of our original group of Marines. It's not the best, not the brightest, but we're here. That would not apply, however, to Violet, because she is the best and the brightest. Negatosaurus, how are you?
I'm okay. Violet is a little concerned considering the
She should be.
yeah, the last time we let off, I think someone was murdered, if I remember correctly. Not
Harry
that, you know, not that I care about that murder, but you know, it is what it is. Hi, I'm Negatosaurus. I'm playing Violet 6, the synthetic human who has control of 3 synthetic xenomorphs, one of which is on the planet with us and currently hiding away. No one's found it yet, so that's always a nice feeling. And yeah, I'm interested to see what this cult not cult has going on, so.
Cult not cults indeed. D20 coup de grace, are you in or not in a cult? You don't have to answer that if you don't want to. How are you?
My current cult status, I would like to just say is unknown.
Okay. All right.
But yes, I am D20 coup de grace. I will be playing Red Brewer, Corporal Red Brewer today. He specializes in using heavy machinery and demolitions. And I'm just waiting on my cue to blow this place to smithereens.
That's a good cue to wait for. That is a good cue to wait for. And that's the cue that I was waiting for to introduce our guest for this session, which is With a Brick. How are you? Would you like to join our cult?
Yes, I would like
Okay.
to join your cult. Hi, I'm With a Brick. I'm playing Plan R, or just R, the replicant clone of Violet and a few others that we're finding I have relations with. But I'm really excited to be back. I'm excited to figure out what the hell is going on here, because there's a lot going on at once. But yeah, I'm excited to be back.
And we're excited to have you. Someone who I know is excited to be back is our mother, our game master for this game. Travis, how are you tonight?
Your actual mother, Lindy, as you know. Hi.
That
how's
would be
it
a
going?
preference. Would you like to adopt me?
Legally. If you'll Google it, I've filed some
you've already
paperwork.
done? Cool.
Well, I've been in
come
Lindy's
over.
cult for a while now, and Lindy's got a sweet cult, you guys. This cult's badass. We got cookies, the cookie committee. I'm chair of the cookie committee for
Well,
the
it's
cult.
more
It's going great.
accurately like fudge jam.
we do black rites by the dark of night. And speaking of which, let's get it on. I want you to remember that rated R film, where this following feature has been approved by the Motion Picture Association of America. I'd say this movie was released somewhere around 96, 97. And, did okay at the box office, but then blew up on home video. So it was a great chapter of this particular saga. So let's get it on. When we left, everybody, we left our heroes. Lindy, if we could pull up the shot of the four men.
Oh, yes,
the
I
four gentlemen.
can find out where that is. Keep talking. I'll find it.
Let's try to do like a broad recap here because I don't have a really eloquent one. So they had to go to the Black Egg. It's time to go. They arrived. It's a giant structure nestled into the side of the mountain. A familiar sight, except this one looks like an upside down teardrop stuck in the side of this mountainside. And as they entered the first floor sort of substation, they encountered some wild individuals who had lost control of most, if not all, of their faculties, some in various states of undress, who had seemingly been poisoned by some sort of substance left on what food was available to them, because they had been locked out of the structure proper. And so our various squads of Marines, of which I believe there's like 4 at least. There's a lot of Marines on the site right now. And as they scaled the elevator shaft, they went up, they heard bizarre chanting. They heard strange sounds. And Violet, who is currently in control of a synthetic organism that is genetically entirely based upon the XX121 xenomorph itself, and is a large, purple-hued, fake alien with digits on its forehead, and she sent it on ahead, and it was able to infiltrate the main chamber of the Black Egg and is hiding beneath the dais. Now, this chamber is a large, egg-shaped structure with if we can go to the map if we haven't already. It's right there in the middle. There's a raised disc shape in the middle with a gantry down the back, and then a sloped walkway going down to the main floor and sort of a entry area to the south where everyone is mostly gathered, where most of our party is mostly gathered. And it's dark. Emergency power is on. From beneath this disc-shaped console, there's computers on top, all of which are dark, and low red and white running lights light up, faces all over the room. There's 35, 40 people in the room, I think, right now, including all of our Marines to the south. And along the top ridge is clusters of 20, you see maybe 20 or 25 people. And the way we describe them is that they all look like they just got let out of a Very Long Sisters of Mercy concert, or perhaps the first scene in Blade, except they're not actually vampires, as far as you know. A lot of leather. They don't look healthy. They don't look nourished. They were playing loud music. There seems to be a tattoo artist at work. They've basically camped the whole back end of what is effectively, you've heard, is like a super orrery, a custom designed space telescope microphone built specially by former Wayland Yutani executive supervisor Rebecca Steelman, who had many clones of herself, who took to cloning herself quite a bit. Where and how often is unknown, but at least one of them is with this group right now. And when she entered the room, a hush fell over the crowd. Now, prior to that, and the big thing y'all got to understand here is that as the group infiltrated the egg and this inner chamber, this orrery, they were identified, they were non-violently confronted, and as everyone got a good look at each other, Wayland Yutani company executive Terry Shillingford came into the room, and it was his idea to come here. It was his dossier and background on Rebecca that provided the intel to get to this clandestine secret facility that had since been decommissioned, long since decommissioned. It was he who secreted away a clone of Rebecca. It was him who seems to have invested a lot, in fact, maybe everything, into getting to this point. And when he saw this group of people and entered the chamber and was recognized, the main guy, clearly, you saw the photo here a second ago. We could pull that up one more time if we're not looking at it. We could look at the guys. Don't believe he identified himself, if I remember correctly.
Nope.
Recognized Shillingford and this individual recognized each other immediately. This guy walked down the gantry and stepped up to Shillingford, told him he should not have come back, and with lightning speed and terrible strength, broke Shillingford's neck, leaving him crumpled to the floor. The Marines, all the Marines are currently under my control anyway. And let's have a look at who's in the room.
Guess he shouldn't have come back.
He's crumpled at the feet of our mystery man here, in between this signifier of Granger right here. I understand that this thing.
Poop emoji.
Can I move this? The sad poop emoji, and we drew on it. I moved the sad poop emoji.
There we go.
You can
The
clean
dead
that
poop
up as
emoji.
necessary.
Yes. Well, we needed a token for him, so he gets the.
We did. So you could just as easily have a skull and crossbones, but due to events earlier in the game,
I was going to say, come on.
We've been calling him
we're just going to leave it
since
at that.
day one, so.
Yes.
Yeah, we all know what he did.
And we know what he
passed
did.
with a unanimous vote from the committee, and I respect that. Granger, the man is still holding his hand out where it was once holding Shillingford's neck. Kennedy and Heston draw. King draws. Fisher draws. Gasper, Fellows, Dawson, and Pierce to the north on either side of the gantry turn and draw and take 2 steps forward. And making eye contact with you, Granger,
Oh.
this individual slowly puts his hands up like this. And is looking right at you.
Granger looks from him down to Shillingford, back up to him. It's just like, McKelson, I don't think we have a problem with this individual right now, do we?
Nope, no
The soldiers
problems
are
with
pointing the guns
current
at him.
individuals. You just like gestures to like lower. Like, not put away, but lower. Because that's a big distinction here. Just makes it easier for McKeelson now that shitting presidents.
Not to disavow what just happened here in any way, but perhaps you should introduce yourself before snapping the neck of someone we didn't like. You.
My name's Lester.
Oh, Lester. I'm Hank. I see you have been acquainted with Mr. Shillingford.
Mm-hmm. We're all better off now that he's gone.
Now, while I will not argue that particular point with you, it is not customary to murder someone before shaking hands, at least, or introductions. I mean, a gunfight would have been... Yeah, you put your hands down, please. It's making me nervous. You got some big arms there. All right, so... what exactly was Mr. Shillingford to you and your organization?
Ain't that big.
I'm an engineer, company contractor. We built the egg, me and my team. As far as most of the bulk construction anyway. There were other contractors. Gone now. Anyway. Terry, my boss, working with the mother, built this place, set it up, but he lied about everything. Creep bastard. Dead now.
We can see that now. Captain McKeelson, did you have anything you wanted to say to our new friend
just
Lester?
some questions. What exactly did he lie about? I mean, I pegged him for a liar. Called him in a few lies already. But what specifically did he lie to you all about?
Everything. And then over his shoulder to the north, 3 guys. One of them's got a big pipe wrench over his shoulder.
Yep, I've been warned about that guy.
One by one, under their breath, say everything.
It's not blatant.
And then he looks at them and comes back and says, lied about the money, lied about the time, lied about the bonus, lied about what this place is.
That's pretty much everything. What
Lied
did
to
he
mother.
tell you it was all about? Because this creep is pretty obsessed about some stuff, and I just want to see if we're all on the same page here, you know.
And he looks over his shoulder, and slowly all these people are coming toward you.
Yep.
And not all of them, but the more together of them, the ones that feel like standing, have come forward, and their eyes pop out of the darkness and the dim light in the room, and they close the space, and all of them are looking at R. And then Lester turns and looks at Violet. You don't remember me. You wouldn't.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? My audio
You
cut
wouldn't
out.
remember me.
Oh, no, I don't know you.
This one. Did he tell you the truth?
I highly doubt it.
He wouldn't.
I mean, we found some truths by snooping.
He tell you it was your idea?
Mine?
Immediately looked to Violet.
What was my idea? The black egg?
When they took your mind. When they erased your hard drive. It was your idea. But you don't remember that.
I don't remember a
could've
lot of
told you.
things. So,
This piece of shit could have told you, couldn't he? Couldn't you? Could have told the lady what she did. Could have told the lady the truth the whole time. Wouldn't do it. Dead now. And then over his shoulder, his three friends all muttered, dead now, under their voice.
Let's just keep everything calm here.
And then he turns, and he's completely ignored the captain, right? The captain asked him a direct question, right? He has
that's
not
fine.
answered it.
Um,
And he turns to R. Can't really be you.
I look a lot like her. I am her, but not her. I just kind of like give him this look of like, I'm sorry, I'm not exactly what you want me to be. Sort of like that kind of uncomfortable tension in her face.
And he takes a step towards you and puts his hands on like the tops of his thighs like this and leans forward and tilts his chin, and not in a threatening way, and says, honesty. And then he turns and rolls his shoulders back and shouts, honesty, at the top of his lungs. And the whole room, it sends a wave through the whole room. Half of them say honesty under their breath. The three guys say honesty under their breath. The other half of them seem very disappointed. Some of them like clearly and obviously devastated. And turn back to what they were doing. And the guy getting his tattoo waves the guy away and moves off, and you're pretty sure you can hear him begin to cry. And Lester turns back to you, says, won't be easy for them. But it's for the best. These are the Deadfall January refugees. They're lucky to be alive. They're here with us now.
What's Deadfall?
yeah, I was gonna say, do those names ring any bells?
They do, actually. They do. You would both. And let's put a pin in that. So you would know right away that Deadfall is a settlement that has always been volatile. That is just a few clicks away from Imperia, which, if I remember correctly, is where you guys stopped early on in our run when you met Kennedy, I believe, was it Imperia. And so Deadfall is a settlement in the Americas. It's not even on the frontier anymore, but it's wrought with conflict, and you've been asleep for 10 months. So Violet, you're getting background in your visor of militia trouble, insurrection, destroyed company property, sabotaged equipment and facilities, et cetera, et cetera.
Did this happen during the 10-month hypersleep? Or is it previous?
It's previous. It's about a year and a half old.
Okay.
Okay, wait. No. It would be it started 8 years ago and things heated up 5-6 years ago. Okay. Let me just rewind that.
Okay.
And it fits into this, and I want to point out for those keeping score at home that Rebecca Steelman disappeared 8 years ago. Back to you.
Okay.
So, how did they get here?
We barely made it out. It was me and Miss Steelman after we shut down the base.
This base?
This base. We took a shuttle. Me and her. A couple others. Dead now. Made it to Deadfall. She wanted to bring people with her. Said she wanted us to go in a group when we went there. When we went home. She'd gotten the call, you understand. She did it. She's there now, waiting for us. Anyway. Pirates. Kidnapping. Took us. I covered her escape. She made it out. I stayed behind with them. I did the right thing. She told me to wait. She told us all to wait, and they all murmur. A murmur rolls through the crowd, and everyone has something different to say about how about how she told us to wait, and some of them just say "mother" under their breath. Anyway, told the pirates there'd be salvage here. Smart of me. Came back. There was a fight. Lost their ship. We poisoned their crew. Locked them out. We stayed here. Ritual and sacrifice have kept us alive. Taking care of each other. We're waiting for Mother. Months now.
You said you built this, right? You're one of the engineers who built the Black Egg. I understand that it's, a radio essentially. Is that correct?
Radio. If you like. More than that.
How?
You have to turn it back on. I didn't build that. All of that up there. I didn't build that. She brought all that in. That's all hers. It's all custom. You see, they wanted to make monsters here. Lied to us. No longer. Stopped that. Dead now. We're safe. as long as we remember. As long as we remember what Mother told us. Then we'll all be fine. And about half the crowd is down with that, and about half the crowd is scared of that. And you don't need an observation check to see it.
What exactly did Mother tell you that, everything will be fine? Just to wait?
Said to wait. Said you'd come back. Said you'd come here. Said you'd call her.
Okay. I think Violet looks over at R and just kind of gives like I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, through any of this conversation that I'm overhearing, does anything jog in my memory? Does anything like ring a bell?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I just kind of look back at Violet and give her the tiniest shrug, but my eyes are wide. Like, I'm also kind of very unsure of how to proceed. The energy in the room is very hard for her to read, especially with everybody looking at her, and just the half and half of the crowd is really what's bothering her right now. And she kind of looks from you and kind of looks back out at the crowd.
I have a question, because it has been 2 months. We talked to the people downstairs, sobered them up a little bit, one of them up a little bit, temporarily. They're not gonna make it, but it's fine. Didn't they say that they were scientists who used to work here? Or is that just something else? Because one of them is lying. It's the question is it these people upstairs are lying, or the people downstairs are lying? Could you refresh my memory on what the people downstairs says? Because I can't find my notes.
If you have a memory of one of the people downstairs saying that they were scientists, that is a part, that is canon. That is canon. Okay. And you're remembering correctly.
Okay, cool. I wanted to make sure I wasn't just making stuff up that they had said. Cool. So McKelson's gonna narrow their eyes a bit, because this guy who was like, honesty is either lying, or the super fucked up, drugged up people downstairs are lying. And I'm kind of more likely to believe the fucked up, drugged up people, because when you're that fucked up, all that comes out of your mouth is typically true things. It's like when you've had enough booze and you're like, you just start it's like that. McKelson knows. McKelson's done a lot of drugs. You have come to Jesus moments sometimes, but whatever, it's fine. Depends on the drugs. And so, McKelson's like, were there any scientists here? If you said they were here to make monsters. We've met some on a different planet, I think.
Dead now.
What about the ones downstairs? Looking real close. Try to read any expression on that face.
And he shoots a look over his shoulder at the three guys, and they look back at him. And he's like, he makes real hard eye contact with you, right? And takes his measure of you for a second.
McKelson doesn't stand particularly tall or strike a particularly strong figure, but I do have my Yautja spinny blade and my medic's outfit still, because I don't think I've been given a captain's uniform yet. I just have the captain's rank on my medic outfit.
Okay. What hip do you wear? You wear it openly?
Oh yeah. McKelson doesn't have any reason not to wear it on. The left hip, because McKelson's left-handed.
Okay. he looks at you and you know, takes your measure and there was one. Maynard wouldn't listen. Wouldn't help. Questioned Mother. He's downstairs. And then like a murmur goes through the crowd of like, he's downstairs.
Which is also interesting because the person I talked to was a woman. So I'm like, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, she. No,
she.
sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Let's do that. She. Pardon
Okay.
me. She is
Okay,
downstairs.
cool.
Thank you.
She's downstairs.
Maynard.
All right. Maynard. Noted. Going in the notes. Kill someone or nothing. Right?
And then he goes, honesty. And there's,
Honesty
like,
is
a
real
murmur of
important. Sweat. A little bit of sweat down the back of McKelson's neck.
I have a question about kind of where we're standing. So our Violet came in last because she saw the invisible stuff downstairs. So I'm assuming R and I are close to the door, and then what, he's right in front of us, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just got into the room kind of as everything was ending. So unless we progressed further, I assume that we were still kind of like in that very open area in front of the door.
Where's the rest? Because I know some of the Marines spread out, and then
we left 4 downstairs, 2 at the elevator, plugged in, ready to contact us should anything happen, and then 2 with the people. 4 or 6 of them downstairs. We left Strong Blossom and Ashley by the elevator, I believe, and then I can look. I can just go. Boop.
Yeah, it's on. Roll 20. I feel pretty good about where roll 20 is right now.
Yeah,
as
Strong,
far as
Ashley,
blocking.
October, and Bazzelli are downstairs.
All right, are downstairs. Right.
Possibly Hennick and Low. Let me see if they're up here. Yes, also Hennick and Low. We left 6 of them downstairs. That way they couldn't be picked off in pairs.
So I'm assuming McKeelson is like by Granger, like on the other side of this guy that's in front of us.
McKeelson was near the back, but probably moved up to speak.
I like too where Fisher, he's kind of looking between Blaze and Granger at McKeelson. You guys are kind of, her guard, right.
Okay.
And then behind him is Kennedy, who's kind of doing this.
Girlfriend.
And so she's looking at you over his shoulder. And Heston is in the back, and Heston is sizing up all the other. Heston hasn't even looked at the main group. Heston can't stop looking at the 3 big guys and all the people in the back. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. I was just trying to get a picture of like where everybody was. I think Violet looks over to McKeelson and just kind of gives kind of the same gesture that she gave to R, just can I engage? Like, can I talk? Like, what is my direction here?
Gives if you want to talk, like.
Okay. Okay, then with McKeelson's permission, I think Violet talks to Lester again, and you seem to know me, or past me that remembered. Was it my idea?
It was the only way to keep them from finding out where she went. No one could know. No one could know what you knew. It's how she shook the company off her tail. Something had to give. You said you'd stay behind. Make it so that no one knew where she went.
And
because it meant so much to her.
She just left me here. Alone.
What Mother did was gracious. You should be thanking her. Because you're the bridge now. You're gonna bring us all home now. We need you. She did the right thing. And he's like getting visibly agitated.
Yeah. And I don't think Violet says anything to that because she can see that he's maybe a little not all there.
I would, in that process, take like another small step towards Violet just to, like, in that kind of like apprehensive state. But she's, can I see, is there anybody besides the 3 gentlemen that are standing behind him, like his little henchmen? Is there anybody else in the crowd that's making like a very specific note of what we're doing? Or is it still the majority of everybody?
Will you give me an observation check, please?
Yes. Okay, observation.
And I want to note too that this whole time, upside down, something is watching from under the platform.
Most of us don't know.
In the dark. Yeah, y'all can't see it. It's dark under there. It's inky black under the platform.
2 successes.
So you see these about half the crowd, like I said, has kind of come forward. They won't come past these 2 teams of Marines on either side, but they're also not coming very close to that either. Along the back left side, kind of on the west sort of side of the room, a bunch of like cots have been set up, and there's one guy standing. He's in a filthy lab coat. He's got pretty brown eyes, and he's holding someone's hand. And you can't see who's holding his hand. Someone's holding his left hand, and he's not trying to move forward, but he is turning his ear to listen. And he's standing, but this person holding his hand is sitting.
And
he's looking at you.
Can I make a shift where I'm standing to kind of get a better line of sight of who is sitting and holding his hand?
Yes, you kind of crane. And one of the things, I love this because there's a lot of eye lines going on right now. There's Lester, who was getting agitated with Violet, and then R kind of comes around, and I think that drew his attention, and his eyes turned to you, and your seeing you calmed that down right away. And then he notices that you're not looking at him, you're looking past him.
Mm-hmm.
And as you see that this individual in the dirty coat is holding just like a young girl, like maybe a 20-something girl in tattered black leather with her hair all punked out, and she does not look healthy. She does not look good. And she has deep, dark circles under her eyes. And she's clutching his hand. And Lester sees you looking at him. And then he looks over his left shoulder and looks out there. And then looks back at you. And then looks back at Violet. You go.
So, can I look at can I go look at the computers, since it's what I'm here for?
And then Lester looks at the captain. Well,
of course you can go. Like with a look, like gestures, but does so in a way that her face is blocked from this person's view for a second, and gives Violet the look of like, find out what the fuck is going on, and then but gestures up so that way Violet can see her face, but not the guy for just that split second of like, of course you can go.
Okay.
and then we'll be like, Brewer, why don't you go with Violet? In case we need to blow the computer, you're the guy to send with her.
Yeah, Brewer stands up and
help her out with anything she needs. Like anything. Yep. Just to blow up stuff, you got.
Yeah. He hands his canteen to Thompson and says, "Yeah, close that up and come with me." And then he's gonna head over to Violet.
I think Violet reaches out just very subtly and like gives R's hand a squeeze. Doesn't look at her, doesn't, acknowledge, just gives it, just kind of like a strengthening squeeze, like I need this to walk away from you right now kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then she will make her way up that ramp to the computers.
I'll also give Violet a pat on the shoulder, like a good, you got this.
Yeah.
But also be like maybe you'll find out something about your memories. Like
when she squeezes my hand right before she lets go, I want to give her just a very pointed look with my eyes that the intent behind them is, if you need me, you say something. Like she gives you that look of like I'm here.
Okay.
And then she'll let go.
All right, cool. Yeah, and I think that definitely helps Violet, and she is able to walk away from the group at that point. And while she's kind of like, how crowded is it? Does she have to like weave her way through people? Do they move out of the way for her?
they do. My computer's freaking out. They do. Which side do you go up?
Looks like we're closer to the right, so I'll go up the right side.
Okay.
And
good.
While I'm going up, has my xenomorph noticed anything hinky?
Did you say hinky?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hinky.
Oh my goodness.
Not kinky. That's
no
another question.
With an H. Hinky.
Let's see. Let's put a pin in that for a second.
Okay.
So far nothing, but let's put a pin in that for a second. Let's talk to Granger for a second.
Okay.
Granger, you get an alert on where do you keep your radio? The gear that communicates with your ship and with sort of, is it a data pad? Is it like something you wear? What is it?
You mean the personal shuttle that Hank has?
Yes.
That's probably on the data pad. He's got his radio up on his harness. He has his data pad on a hip pocket kind of thing.
Okay. So your data pad gives the slightest hum, and that's how you know that there is some sort of message for you. The shuttle has some sort of is pinging you, sending you some sort of alert.
Okay. I take the I just kind of I take a couple steps back from big gray and crazy. Kind of hold, like I let the rifle hang from my shoulder strap, so it's hanging straight down to the ground, and I grab the data pad and kind of check it out, see what's going on.
Okay. Violet, this is number 5? What's the Xeno's name? Which one is?
No, number 5 is the stealth one that's still on the Remington. I brought 4 with me, I think.
Okay. I think you brought 4.
I think.
Okay. You like 4. 4 sees as Granger takes 2 steps back and withdraws his data pad. Granger, there is a message for you, a coded private message from we're going to have to come up with the name of the actual law, the actual, former Blade Runner private security thing that you, or whether you're like a private contractor, you have like a company liaison, right? There's a point between you and the company that brought you this gig, right? And whether or not it's you contracting, I think the way we set it up was that you are like contracting with the company. But anyway, a coded private message for you has come from like the guild, effectively.
Okay.
And your ship has received it, and why don't you make a, let's see. So yes, so it has received it. They're gonna make anything.
Just okay. I play the message.
Cool. So Granger, and you have do you have like a headpiece, like an earpiece, or are you playing this out loud? How are you? This is like an audio transmission with
the data pad
materials.
Yeah, if I'm in my work uniform, if you will, the combat uniform, the earpiece I have is basically future Bluetooth connected to it, so I don't have to actually. It plays, but nothing ever plays out loud unless I specifically designate it to.
All right, Lindy, we're ready for the
All right.
the
This is
video.
what you hear. Slash the.
Closed communique from Imperia Station. TCS Shadow Relay 263. Recipient intended read coded for Lieutenant Hank Granger. Lieutenant Granger. Urgent instructions to follow. Your primary contact with USCM forces and client WY compromised. Please advise. Warrant issued for Burkhalter and Shillingford. Shillingford in possession of stolen company property and intel. Burkhalter not cleared for mission. Commandeered the USS Ephasus without clearance. Suspected motive is distraught over recent death of brother. Reason to believe Shillingford hired Burkhalter as private force to further steal company property and intel. Orders are to arrest Shillingford and Burkhalter and prepare for handover at Ecclesias Station. Further orders as follows. Company wishes to communicate with the synthetic Violet immediately. Relate your current location immediately for rendezvous on Remington. Company reps wish to meet with Violet in person. She is to stay on the Remington and await company representatives en route. Please advise coordinates immediately. Further orders as follows. Any synthetics identified as company property excluding Violet to be retired immediately. This includes any material or organisms related to or concerned or are clones of former company representative Rebecca Steelman. See provided dossier. If encountered, orders are to disable retire immediately. Return of Violet and the USS Ephasus highest priority. Please advise intercept coordinates immediately. And
You'll see Granger reacting to this. Normally, he wouldn't really react very much, just sort of stony-faced for the most part. But with this particular revelation, he'll kind of wince, and then he just puts the pad back down on his side and pays attention to the big gray guy standing in the middle of us for right now.
Violet, you walk up the gantry. Where is Blaze?
Right next to me.
I was gonna say I'm staying with the captain in the main group, but I'm not getting near these guys. I'm keeping a little bit of standoff distance.
Excellent. Okay. So you're standing with the captain. Let's see. Violet begins to move up. Heston and Kennedy kind of get out of your way a little bit. Okay, Brewer and Thompson are going with her.
Mm-hmm.
Dawson and Pierce kind of spread out, and they're looking at these three big dudes. These are big dudes, okay? These guys have like strange tattoos. They're very large. Their skin is a strange pearlescent bluish pale that catches the light in a strange way. The one with the pipe has like a banged up eye and is just sort of a far and away the most fearsome of the three, which is great for three particularly fearsome individuals. As Violet passes, they don't really look at her. They're looking at Brewer and they're looking at Thompson.
Poor Thompson.
And Thompson doesn't look scared, but Thompson's doing his thing. Thompson's not like shitting himself. Thompson knows what's up. He's a pro, and he moves past. And as you guys go around the top right, you continue to curve around, and you see just these people. The tattoo guy is right here up on the right, and kind of looks at you and kicks out, a cartridge or whatever, and starts to blow out a needle, or and he's cleaning his filthy gear, and then people are these emaciated.
Does he have a little tattoo parlor
people.
sign that's called tetanus tattoos because it's so gross?
So
probably
as you
disinfect that.
Do you say that?
Oh yeah.
He gives you the finger. And Thompson frowns. And then he turns, and unless you do anything, Brewer, you take it. Do you take it any further than that?
No. Yeah, I mean, he's not pushing
it's like a
anything.
Passing comment, yeah.
Look, it's common sense to use some disinfectant with on that,
Dawson and Pierce kind of look back and forth at each other, and then Pierce kind of tilts his chin, and they follow you, and they come on up, and everybody starts to come on around. And as you come on around, Violet, you notice that their clutter has damaged this equipment. They have spilled shit on the consoles. They've laid their shit everywhere. They've gone and just kind of junked this up as much as you can when there's no fast food around, and it's effectively all just clutter because they've been here for months and they're just spread out.
Okay.
And as you come around, you climb this gantry into the middle of the room, and it's incredible. From this point, you can feel the even just the pressure in the air in the room is different from this point. The acoustics are completely changed when you're standing on this platform in the middle of the room, and there's a series of computer banks all around you in a 270-degree angle, and they're all dark, and they're all custom. This isn't like a just your standard place. It's a bunch of deep space monitoring equipment. Okay, this is all, there's some strange shit here, and you really won't completely know what you're dealing with until you can turn some of this on, because you're not about to rip it apart and look at model numbers or whatever. But this stuff is unfamiliar, and there's a lot of custom material here. And
what the hell is all this stuff, Violet?
That's what I'm gonna find out. I don't know, but apparently I helped build or design it at least. So maybe once I get into it, I'll have a sense of what I'm doing. And then I'm sorry, my audio cut out. Are people following us?
No, they didn't really follow you. They just glared at you as you went by.
Okay. Then I think Violet is going to, there's stuff all over, so she's going to, like, as politely as she can, get all of it out of her way. Like, just just like take their stuff, put it like to the side on the ground, get it clear off her workspace essentially. And then she's gonna look for a power source or like an on button if it's that easy. And see if maybe she can boot it up and run a diagnostic.
So as you stand up there and soon as you hit a button, Lester turns and goes, "It won't work. Not until we fix it."
That's, what I was gonna do. Is there like a power source? Do you have something? Did you take something out of it?
Might be able to bring in a portable.
He chuckles under his breath and goes, We ripped it all out when we left, she and I.
Smart.
We screwed it up, but good. I made a list. And he reaches into his shirt and he pulls out a sweaty, crumpled piece of paper and goes, "I made a list," and holds it forward to the captain.
Probably disinfect that too.
Yeah, McKelson's thinking that. Takes the list and
it is a hand scroll.
Carefully open it. Well, carefully open it, but not like disgustedly carefully open it. McKelson grew up in a part of Glasgow that was not great. This is pretty typical. So just was like, oh, great. Disintegrate. Look at the list.
It is a hand scrawled list of it's a big list of components to run a significant power source. It's not a spare parts affair.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of stuff.
I think McKelson just imagine like our contact devices are pretty small and just pulls out that, snaps a picture and just forwards it to Violet. Just sends to Violet.
So Violet gets McKelson's picture snapshot essentially, and then another message pops up on the other side of her visor, and I think she reads them both quickly. And where she's standing, Brewer and Thompson would be the only ones to see it. She has like a very visible, like, just change of, like, oh fuck, change of face, and then composes herself.
Nods like, yeah, that's a list.
Yeah.
Is there an issue?
I mean, isn't there always an issue? But
True. Or like a bombing issue?
Not currently.
Good.
Okay. No need for that at the moment. And what essentially is on this list?
Well, you haven't seen it. You mean the list that Luther had?
Yeah, I took a picture and sent it to her.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't catch that. All right.
Yeah.
Look at you guys.
I took on my data pad, was like...
Well, cue me going through a ton of, Brewer's more qualified than me to rattle through this. If you were to sabotage a power relay at a major research station, attempting to do it beyond a certain degree of repair without throwing the whole thing into the ocean, right? I think it's a lot of wiring. I think there's some couplings involved. And I think it's pretty clear that it's going to have to come from salvage of a ship. It's either going to have to come from cannibalizing a small shuttle like Granger's or the Ephesus or parts of the Remington. There's some odds and ends that are standard kept on the Remington, but it occurs to you that maybe something could be found from the wreckage in the water, but maybe not. And there's some of it is heavy. It will take some people to move some elements of this. But it is not anything that you don't have on hand. The question is, where are you going to take it from?
This is a lot of work here. We're going to have to rip apart half of the Remington.
No, we're not touching my ship. No.
Well, if we can find the salvage elsewhere.
Well, I mean, we do have a whole nother ship inside of the Remington. That's not exactly supposed to be there.
Well, you would be able to calculate this a whole lot faster than I.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, okay. I think Violet goes to like, because this is like a raised platform, like above everything, right? That where the computers are.
You're about 12, 15 feet in the air.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the edge and like look over at Lester and the captain, and we're gonna need to go back downstairs and cannibalize that pirate ship and possibly a shuttle and maybe some of the Ephesus.
And I send a text saying like, maybe take some scans of what is up there should we need to never return to this place ever again. And that's just a quick text that's sent to Violet. Like, maybe.
Yeah, she'll do that. She'll like step back and just kind of slowly make her way across and make sure she captures and scans everything and make sure she has it all in her data bank. Obviously nothing's
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Poor Thompson.
Excuse me, I just need to move around you. Yeah, okay, thanks. And then she is there anything on this setup that feels inherently me? Like anything, do I get any kind of...
I love that question. That's a great question. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it comes out in different ways too. And maybe you could tell me what they are, right? Where, clearly there's a lot of custom work having been done to incredibly expensive and rare deep space monitoring equipment that happened over a period of years. From the flashback that you had that you were in on the development of this facility. And so, I think it's not like you're like, oh my God, I remember this. It's like, that looks like something I would do. That looks like how I've turned it. Some things are turned on their side. Some things are rearranged. I think you could name any number of ways you put your fingerprints on it.
Okay. Yeah, I think all of the screens, like even though they're dark right now, they all have like a purple tint to them. Any computer screen. And then all of the keyboards are like the I don't know what they're called, but they're the ones that are like split in half.
Mm-hmm.
All of them are like that. And then there's just other things, like all the wires are like twisted counterclockwise or something, just weird little things. And then once she has everything she needs and has a plan of what she's gonna cannibalize from a couple of ships, she'll head back down the ramp.
Cool. A few things happen while you're doing that. As you're looking at all this, Brewer, you notice Thompson turns over his right shoulder and takes a couple steps down this gantry and is looking off to the northwest and is like leaning forward And hold on, my computer is being weird. Come on now. There we go.
You spot something over there, Thompson?
And he's like, holy shit. And he goes, Deevy? And then, like, you notice of a cluster of people kind of sitting around throwing cards into a hat or something, you know. One of them, his chin turns up and he makes eye contact with Thompson and his eyes go big and he stands up and they point at each other and Thompson goes, ha, holy shit. And then he kind of turns to you, Brewer. He's like, may I have permission to
just go.
Oh, good. Okay.
We're so done as Marines. We're like, fucking just go. We don't even.
We're the most ragged, ragtag group ever. I love
We're
it.
just so tired.
But during this distraction, I am going to place an explosive up here.
I love that. Can you make a?
I love it.
Let's do a little roll for that, just to see how well you do it.
Okay.
There's a demolition skill, right? My computer is just so mad.
I don't think there is.
Hold on, let's see what we got here.
I don't know if we were using heavy machinery for that or not.
I know we have used heavy machinery in the past, but
all right, let's do that.
All right, do a heavy machinery check.
Yeah.
Okay. No modifiers, I assume.
No.
Success.
What did you do? Did you just get one?
Just one.
Just
very nice. How do you do it? Like, is this like what is it? How does this look like?
Well, it's very smooth. He's as Violet starts to move down the gantry, he pulls out that one charge he always has ready in his pocket and just slips it under the desk and right underneath. Sticks it to the desk.
So Brewer, you're doing that. Blaze.
Yes, sir.
As this whole thing is happening, the three larger gentlemen step down the catwalk. It's not really a catwalk.
Down the catwalk.
More of a ramp, really. And they kind of come in, and this big one here, not the pipe guy, but I don't know, my computer's furious. One of them kind of squares up, sort of the middle weight of the two, squares up with Heston. They look at each other. They're sizing each other up. And Granger and Blaze, you both notice this sort of looks to be in mid-30s, in this filthy coat, has made his way down, and he's chatting with Gasper and Fellows over here. And this woman is holding his hand and she's pulling him. And he's telling her to hold on. And he's asking them some questions.
The woman that's with that guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over here.
Right.
And Blaze, give me an observation check.
Observation coming right up. Wah. One success. So not a very good observation, but it's a decent one.
You see that she has burns on her face. She has burns on her cheeks.
She has burns on her neck.
Interesting.
And these three guys are kind of coming around. And unless they're told not to, they kind of keep coming around. And they come around the tip of this thing, kind of around the south end of the bowl under the platform, while this one stays behind to kind of look at Heston. They're mad dogging each other. And their body language is such that they're just trying to get closer to their guy. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Makes
sense.
And then
Weird.
this one with the pipe.
Iridescent gray skin club. Yeah.
Yeah, doing their thing, you know.
This one with the pipe steps up and looks down at Shillingford's body and then shifts his giant pipe wrench and then looks up, and you see him see the disc on McKeelson's hip.
I'll see if this is a bad thing or a good thing in just a minute.
And he doesn't change his facial expression. He's just looking at it. And then he looks over his left shoulder at this other guy. This dude. He's kind of got like kind of a half face mask going. He's got kind of like a piece of cloth around his mouth and his nose. And he kind of like tilts his head, and then the other one steps forward and looks at the disc on your belt. And then they both look at you. And they both kind of squint.
Yeah, that's a reaction McKeelson's gotten a lot, I feel, through the course of their life.
Is there a problem here?
McKeelson just raises an eyebrow at them.
Blaze will say, "Is there a problem here?"
And they both snap to you. Like the other two, their eyes were here, and they both go right to you.
Yeah.
And Lester doesn't seem to recognize that thing.
Interesting.
But
the other two
looked at it.
Yeah.
And the other two do, and then kind of hearing your voice, Blaze, the one that was mad dogging Heston starts to come around, and Heston is watching. And Kennedy is watching. And they're all looking at you, Blaze.
Good. I would expect Kennedy and Heston to be paying attention, so I'm glad they are. In case things get nasty, they're ready. That's cool.
And you hear the guy with the mask say, where'd you get that?
McKeelson thinks to herself for a moment, fuck, I have to pronounce this name correctly. And then goes, this? Just hip out. Yowcha.
And they both like, they don't like shock react to it, but they look at each other when you use that word.
Gave it to me.
And then they gave it to you.
They gave it to me. Arms crossed.
And there's this long pause, and then Lester turns and looks at all of you, and those who are near him, you see just a notion of him shaking his head, and maybe just a hint of exasperation. Just he gives that away just a bit, maybe.
Just a little exasperated with his people. Yeah.
He gives that away just a little bit, and then he turns and leans over to the guy with the mask over his face and whispers. And while he does, the guy with the pipe does not break eye contact with Blaze.
Can I try to make out what they're saying as he whispers?
I really want to pull a Jane Cobb and be like, shake your head, man. Your eyes are stuck.
And I think you guys are just mad dogging each other unless you want to actually say something. I think
he'll just mad dog him back.
Mm-hmm.
I just love this moment where you two are staring. And as you're doing this, Granger, what are you doing right now?
Well, up until this moment, Granger's been IMing basically with Violet.
Right.
It's all been encrypted, but I sent you the message, and we've gone back and forth a few times since then. And then like he's doing that, but like his spidey senses go off when Blaze is starting to he starts talking, and the guys are moving around. It's like now there's 3 gray guys standing way too close, danger close, and so he puts the data pad down, and he's got his rifle's still down. This is just too close for a rifle like that, to be playing with these guys. So he's got his hand on his pistol, not drawn yet, and is watching very intently what goes on at this point. Like he's ready to back up Blaze if it kills him. But that's all.
I love it.
Gonna have him do some 6-gun fast shooting.
Please,
I got really good ranged combat. I'm ready to go.
Why don't we have Granger give me an observation check?
Can I also make an observation check to try to catch what that guy's whispering? Or read the lips or whatever? Yeah.
Could I roll this into an investigator check, or does this need to be just a straight observation?
I'm looking to see if you pick up on some of the things happening around you. Is what this is about. And I will have an investigatory concern here.
Nothing. Look at all those dice and nothing.
Okay, I'll take that. Yeah, nothing's pretty. Oh, it's okay in this game.
Yeah, push, man.
Push it. Take a stress and
push it real good.
Sure, I'll take a stress and I'll. All right. Why not?
I feel like if we don't push now, then win. Learn some important things.
There you go. 2 successes,
buddy. Look at you making the system work for you. So you hear an exchange over your left shoulder. You hear something to the effect of, I just need to go over. Just let me go over there for just a second. If I could just go over there for just a second, I could. And then you pick up on it and you glance for a second, and you catch this young individual in a torn, filthy gray lab coat. You catch him come around Fellows, and then as soon as he sees that Lester and his 3 friends are standing over there, he stops, he takes a step back, and he puts his other arm around his lady, and they both turn and start walking up the other side of the ramp.
Okay.
And Fellows just kind of shrugs and shakes his head, and Gasper was like kind of like, what the fuck? And Fellows is like shrugs. And you kind of caught this exchange.
Okay. Are they gray as well?
Yes.
Okay, so everyone else in here is an iridescent gray.
So, yes, everyone in here is an iridescent gray,
unsettling.
Except for that guy.
Except for that guy.
He doesn't look good, but he's not bluish.
Okay.
Iridescent grayish with the veins and the eyes and the whole bit.
Granger watches him go away and then kind of like elbows McKeelson and takes another step back, kind of like 5 feet away, leans in. The only strange looking one, well, the only one that's not strange in here is kind of scared of Lester.
And McKeelson just whispers back, no shit.
There's something else going on here. Why are they gray? Have we decided to ask that question yet?
I was debating on how rude it would be.
I mean, I'm pretty okay with being rude, and I've been punched for less. So,
right, well, do you want to ask them why they're gray, or do you want to go talk to that guy?
which do you want, Rochambeau?
Okay, I'll go talk to that guy.
Fine.
They seem to be really interested in my desk, and I'm not comfortable with it.
We could have. Okay, whatever. I don't ever get to play anymore. It's
fine.
All right, ready?
Right.
All right. One. Right. 1, 2. It's a tie.
All right.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll go. I'll talk.
I think they're kind of sick of talking. Did I was able to catch with my one success what he said? What that guy whispered to his underlings?
He said the word Eucharist.
I don't like that. Yeah, I'm gone. But have fun, Granger. You can ask them some questions. I think, and then like louder, Michael Hilson says, "I'll be back in a sec," and then I'll walk over to here to like try to make eye contact, especially if that guy's like backing up and walking away, like oh, and you know, because I've been noted as the one in charge, so I'll come over to them rather than them having to come over. Catch their eye.
He has by now made it up a little further around the corner, so you can move up there.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, I'll go by myself. That's fine.
Gasper and Fellows. Yeah, they escort you. They both see the captain coming up, and they flank you.
Cool.
And
I'm down. I'm more okay
up.
with that. Well, Thompson's up there
because there's this whole sort of like moment going on down here with everybody mad dogging each other over this corpse.
Yeah.
That's going on. Ray, what are you doing in this moment?
R is honestly trying to. Is there a way that she could position herself to kind of see into the room where Violet is, but also keep an eye on like this weird mad dog situation? She's trying to feel out where she's supposed to be in going to be utilized most in the moment. So she's more observing and keeping a very tactical eye on her position.
Okay. When you glance up, this platform that Violet is on is, like I said, it's 12, 15 feet in the air. She comes I remember she said she came forward and kind of looked over and said something. You kind of caught that and came around. And when you see her up there, you do feel a wave of familiarity. And you feel a pull up there. You know that you should be up there.
Then as soon as McKeelson started to make her way that direction where I saw them to go up, I would follow suit. It's a very casual walk, not to like alarm anybody, but I would keep my purpose to be following her direction to move up there.
Excellent. So you come around the left side with McKeelson. Is that what you said?
Yes.
I love that. Okay, so
McKeelson's just like, he just gives you a nod like, shit's crazy, right? And then just keeps walking. Doesn't even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't have to say
she
anything.
returns it full send.
Hope to find this guy.
You go up to this guy, and so you went with her. So
like, hey, you want to talk with some of us?
And he kind of saw you come up, and as he saw you come up, he said something to this young lady who's holding his hand, and he reassures her again, and then they take a step and he lets go of her hand. And this is a big deal for her, and she stops and she puts her hand over her mouth like this as she watches you guys talk.
Oh.
He comes up to you with his eyes quite big, and you can tell he's sweating.
It's okay, McKeelson's sweating a little bit too. It's fine. This is a situation to be sweaty in, McKeelson would think.
You said something. What did you say?
You wanted to talk with some of us. What's up?
Oh, you're
the captain, medic, both. Crazy.
Hang on. What the hell is this guy? What's his name? What the hell is his name? There. Thank you. Okay. He doesn't look terrified. This is
just sweaty.
Obviously.
That's how McKeelson feels. Not quite terrified, but sweaty.
But sweaty. That's how I am most of the time. Just day to day, really. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The body language here is a big deal. We're gonna play some music. The body language here is a big deal.
Mm-hmm. McKeelson's body language reads tired. This is weird.
Sweaty.
Yeah, sweaty.
And he reassures her, let's go over hand. Turns, looks left, looks right. Registers that the three guys are all the way down there. You can't even really see them because the platform is kind of there and there's this gap. You can kind of see from there, and he registers. And he takes a hearty step forward and squares his shoulders and says in a calm, professional manner, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Ernest Vick. I'm very pleased to meet you. Thank you.
Medic and Captain McKeelson, nice to meet you, Dr. Vick.
And he looks at the two Marines, and then he looks at you, R, and he goes, and he looks back at the captain after he takes a breath, and then he looks at you and goes, you shouldn't be here.
Why is that?
So, as you can see, these are and he starts feeling around his lab coat for a pen. He's looking for a pen.
McKeelson will hand him a pen.
And
sure they've got one.
Reaches and he takes your pen and he starts writing on his palm. And he's writing and he goes, these are the deadfall refugees. I was on a shuttle from Imperial to Deadfall to assist in medical. And when we were waylaid by these individuals, and then he holds up his hand to Ray while he's talking, and it says, they'll kill you. And he looks at you, and then he stops, and then he starts rubbing his palms together as he continues to talk. These refugees have an ongoing medical condition.
Does that have to do with
requires,
the blue skin?
That's correct. They have been exposed to a neurotoxin used in some of the chemical warfare going on Deadfall.
Which neurotoxin? I've run into some other people with exposure recently. Because I looked at Kennedy's medical notes, and I will list off the neurotoxins that Kennedy has recently been exposed to, and see if any of them are the same.
I love that you rattle them off, right? You say them to him, right?
Yeah.
I love that. And you're picking up on the fact that
I was
he's
gonna say,
comet.
while that's happened, can I see? Did anyone follow me down that hallway? Did anyone take a particular interest in the direction that I went?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. You're too busy mean mugging Blaze right now.
Yeah, especially after he shows that to me, I'm gonna kind of I make I figured kind of nod, and then I look around just to see if anybody followed me.
Yeah, no, they're all kind of staring at their feet. There's kind of this weird, tense business happening over where you were. So no, and he listens to you as you're rattling off neurotoxins. He's glancing. He looks over your shoulder. He looks back at this girl, and as you're about to finish your list, he goes, "It's not any of those. It requires a special diet. It requires special treatment."
What's the diet and treatment?
Do you have any water?
I've got a bit left on me, my canteen.
And he takes it and he hands it to this young lady over his shoulder. And then she hands it back to him, and he accepts it and drinks from it. And then
did she slip anything into there when he handed it to her?
No, it looks like she really needed a drink.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Just checking.
And then he hands it back to you.
You keep it. That's fine. I'll get another one.
Appreciate that. So here's what's about to happen. They're all about to eat. Now, this is rather benign. They'll ask for privacy.
Uh-huh.
You should give it to them.
Yeah, let me guess that it's people or something like that. Keelson says that with a completely straight face. Like, it wouldn't surprise me at this point with the shit that I've seen.
He's like, no. And he's like, it's not people.
That's good.
It's not people.
Royal
it's
jelly?
probably
Aliens? Yautja?
And when you said royal jelly,
uh-huh,
he makes hard eye contact with you.
Oh no. Okay. Kelsey's just going down the list of weird we've encountered recently.
What do you know about that?
I know it's blue and that it's very addictive. And it's probably a bitch to get. Please tell me there's not a source here.
And he looks back at you, and he bites his lip, and he says,
You don't have to say it, that's fine.
We are going to have to resume this conversation at another time. It's been such a pleasure to meet you.
Would you like to exchange contact information?
And you... Well, they're not going to want me to talk to you. In fact, why don't we...
You're a doctor, right?
Wrap this
like
up.
An actual doctor. Perhaps I could conscript your aid for one of my people who's been exposed to the neurotoxins that I've listed off, because I'm just a medic. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a degree. Like, could that be a way to talk? Like, you know?
I would be happy to.
Meal, and I can get your excellent medical expertise. Wonderful.
Yeah. I would enjoy that. And as you finish that out, over his left shoulder, nearby that, and Ray, did you have anything?
This was all a very quiet conversation, you know?
No, I was just listening in past that point. I'm just kind of putting the pieces together in that vein.
And you picked up on all of that, and and if I remember correctly, you've read the research. You've gone through Jeffrey's research, and so you know exactly what royal jelly is, and and so over his left shoulder, Thompson is having a famous catch up with this person who looks to be in his late 20s. They look to be about the same age, and Thompson is kind of waving him over, and they start to come up the gantry. And as they do, Thompson is excited, but not too excited. And Brewer, what are you doing?
I assume this is around the time I'm placing that.
Be after. There's been enough time for everyone to sort of have a conversation and an exchange. So I think you've had enough time to do your thing. Violet's looking around. What are Violet and Brewer doing? After about 5 minutes of doing.
I'm just following Violet. I assume back down the gantry to start procuring those things is what we're looking to do.
Yeah, Violet would start heading down, just kind of making sure Brewer's next to her.
I can't hear you, baby.
And are they
I love you too.
Up on this platform? Are any of these cultist people up here, or is it just us up here?
It's just you up there.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Okay, so you guys go down the gantry, is that right? You guys go down the thing? So that's where you bump into Thompson. And he comes up to you and says, what is Brewer? Is he what is he, a lieutenant? No.
Corporal.
He's a corporal.
Mhm.
Corporal Brewer. Sir, I'd like to introduce you to a friend of mine. And he almost forgets this guy's name. He stutters and he goes, "This is DV, Link Mason. We went to the academy together and went through special training together. And I would just love for him to for you guys get the chance to meet him. Check this out." And then you notice that they both have matching tattoos of triangles with eyes in them, point facing down.
Oh.
Ah. I see.
Pretty cool. And then they kind of, rub them together and kind of jostle. You're like, "Oh, it's good to see. I thought I haven't seen him in years. I thought you were gone. This is nuts, man. Anyway, I just wanted you to get
Small
to meet."
universe.
Right? Crazy. Anyway, okay. Well,
Nice to meet you.
And they kind of, and DV kind of looks at you and nods. And this young man does not look well. And you can tell that this was a healthy, fit young man. This is someone about Thompson's age, and he looks like 10 miles of bad road.
What have you been eating here?
Cakes of light.
Cakes of light?
And then he turns and looks over his shoulder at Thompson, and then he puts his hand kind of over his mouth, and he shrinks away.
Maybe we shouldn't ask that question again to anybody else. That seems like a not good subject.
It seems like an important subject. They all seem to be starving.
Well, yeah. I don't disagree with you. They all look really bad, but with that reaction, it's probably not something he's supposed to tell us.
All right.
Listen,
I mean,
listen.
we can help him.
Let's just
I gotta concentrate.
get back downstairs, regroup, and figure out what the fuck's going on, because we can't discuss this with these people here.
You see, I'm talking to a doctor right now. This is going great. Yeah.
All right.
Where this, so there's the platform, and then there's like two sides that come down and kind of like a curve. Are we at an angle where I can like look to my one of my sides, left or right, and see my xenomorph?
So you would have to step kind of around to the side, and then there's this thing up. But if you look really closely, you see a spine tail curled up under the bottom of it, if you know right where to look.
Okay. I don't know how I'm gonna get it out, but I'm gonna leave it for now. Okay, I make note that it's there and that nobody's noticed it, and then I go the rest of the way down with Brewer. And is Thompson with us, or did he go slink off with that other guy?
Where is Thompson?
Well,
Thompson didn't slink off. He's standing right next to Brewer.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're with us, Thompson.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
then.
And he looks confused and worried about his friend.
Yeah, I'm confused and worried about him also.
Can we go back to everybody? I don't like being away from them in this situation.
Of course.
Okay. And she leads the way back downstairs.
Burr just keeps an eye on everyone around.
So you all sort of step back down the side. McKeelson, what do you guys do?
Depending on which direction Violet goes, I'm gonna try and kind of excuse myself from the conversation that McKeelson is having and whisk in that direction to meet up with her. If I do pass the threshold to go down into that room, can I stop for a moment and kind of see if I feel anything being near it before I make my way to Violet?
Yeah, I think if you come up and around, you feel this strong physical pull to stand there like a bed you've slept in that you know is amazing, like a room you've spent a lot of time in that you know you did your best work in. It's an environment that is comfortable for you. You could feel it on the hairs on the back of your neck. You feel it in your bones and your blood.
I'm going to make my way to Violet. I'm going to put a hand on her shoulder and just give her like a reassuring look. And I'm going to go down into the room.
Violet will follow. Just very
awesome.
Confused.
So
as
as
she's following me, I'll turn around and I'll just be like, I don't know what it is, but I need to be in there.
Okay. Then
And
let's go.
She'll just continue on.
So you're going up the platform? Cool. Okay.
Violet's following.
Which
R
means Brewer
and
and Thompson
Violet.
probably turn right back around and go back up.
What do Brewer and Thompson do? Because they kind of... Thompson looks at you, Brewer. Oh, Brewer's gone. All right, then they go
I
up.
imagine they follow because Brewer was ordered to stay with Violet. So it's wherever Violet goes, Brewer and Thompson go.
Excellent. All right,
Yeah.
I love it. So they go back up.
And I'm like, doctor guy, I need help. I'm so grateful to find an actual doctor. I'm just a medic again. I'm like, come on, guy, let's go talk medical stuff, But not as obviously bad as that because McKeelson is actually really good at lying. So, and does, maybe thinks this guy should look at Kennedy's charts. It's fine. It's concerns about the crew. It's important, and this guy knows shit and is willing to spill them beans. So let's get them beans spilled.
Let's talk about the blocking of this. They go up the thing. The captain, you're bringing the guy with you. This young lady with him insists on going too.
I don't care if he brings her with him. I just want some answers out of this guy.
He seems a little embarrassed and maybe a little frustrated, but also devoted to her on some level.
Like if he wanted to leave her behind, I'd make it happen. But if he's okay with it, I'm okay with it. We could take her.
And as you come around the side with Fellows and Gasper in front of you, let's go to Granger and Blaze. And at some point, while the pipe guy and Blaze are staring at each other, I think Fisher clears her throat and says, why don't you take a picture? It'll last longer.
Yes.
She looks at you and looks at him. And she produces a toothpick from somewhere.
I'll even give you my good side.
And they just scowl at you, and she scowls back. And Lester looks at you, Granger. What's Granger doing right now?
As soon as Fisher said something, Granger took 2 more steps back. So he's actually behind the side of the line with the Marines, because he's not frontline material. And he's just paying attention. I mean, he's looking at all 4. He's looking at them like these are people that I'm going to have to put bullets in their heads in 5 seconds, and he's scoping them out, watching for signs that it is necessary to retire these 4 people.
Imagine
Lester
it'd be
looks
like,
at you. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No.
It's just offhand comment. It's just imagining Granger just doing a fast draw. And
he's literally got his hand just like right on the PKP, but you know he's just waiting, just watching.
So Lester turns and he sees this doctor coming down the side, and as he looks, he frowns, and then his boots step over the body of Shillingford and steps over and steps forward. And Granger, you can tell he's concerned with the fact that the doctor is now standing next to the captain.
Oh.
As soon as he steps over Shillingford's body, Granger rotates, kind of like in between him and the captain, which is still hard to say. And and he's just like, hey there, partner, Lester. Why don't we go back over where you were there for a second? We're still judging the situation here, and we wouldn't want any misunderstandings.
What are you, a cowboy?
I've roped a lot of fools.
You're not the captain.
Nope. No, I'm not. I'm the one that does the captain's dirty work.
I respect that. The time has come for the Eucharist.
It's been a long time since I went to church, so I'll just let you guys do what you do. Don't mind us.
He's coming with us. And he points at Dr. Vic.
I believe that's up to the captain, Lester.
And Lester frowns and turns over his right shoulder and looks at his three guys.
Do you want your peaceful Eucharist or do you want a gunfight? Y'all don't have guns. Let's see how this goes.
All of them get observation checks.
McKeelson is talking about how, like, they've got that crew member who's in critical condition. They've got one in a coma. Oh, yeah, I've got Burkhalter's files, too. I'm like, they're in a coma. I just don't understand. It would be really great to have an actual doctor's opinion on this. So if they're trying to listen to what McKeelson wants from this guy, it's that, not that I want stuff out of him about any of this, it's that I'm like, oh, thank God, a doctor. And I'll even roll a manipulation check if you want. Like, we have some people that need some help. Get your assistance. Could you look at these charts for me? So, you know, if they're trying to get a vibe, and I'll roll that manipulation because it is pure lies. I totally want to grill this doctor, but I'll roll it if you want.
Okay, sorry, I lost audio. What are you gonna roll?
I'll roll a manipulation if you want to make my lies seem very convincing to these guys who value honesty a whole lot. About me wanting. Granted, I will ask about, you know, the charts, so it's not a complete lie, but I do also want to grill this dude. But I'm making it seem like I just want, oh, thank God, a doctor, you know.
Yeah, I love that. Give it to me.
We've got a guy in a coma. Actually, the Sergeant Major is in a coma. It's really bad. A heart attack, terrible things. We've got another one again who had all these neurotoxins. I'd really love for you to look at those charts. And I'll just really convincing that, oh, thank goodness. If only we had brought a doctor with us. We were terribly unprepared. Yeah, I'll roll. Just good old manipulate.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
A 1 success, but I will push it. I'll take an extra stress just to try to get more successes, because I feel like these guys value honesty a whole lot, and I need this slide to be very convincing. So, 2 successes, and I'll take more stress. It's fine.
Woo! Oh my.
I don't need to panic yet because I've got feeds. But,
okay. Give me just a second. My computer is furious with what I'm doing right now, but I have to do it.
Okay.
Let's do this.
2 successes on my thighs.
Oh.
I can push it a second time if I need to, but I hope I don't need to. Because I've got the feat called Cover My Ass, which is supposed to be called Compassion, but I've called it Covering My Ass.
Okay, here we go. So you're talking to Lester.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm talking to the doctor, walking back towards the rest of our group about things with my 2 successes.
Okay, and you're with those successes, you're trying to convince Lester
the gray people, all of the gray people, that I'm just really concerned about this crewmate that's in a coma, and about this other crewmate who's encountered neurotoxins, and I'd love for him to just go over some charts with him and see if maybe we could work out a treatment plan. Thank God you're an actual doctor, I'm just a medic, that kind of thing. Like, if I could just have an hour of your time and then, like, a bunch of medical jargon. Like, again, list off the names of the neurotoxins to be like, yeah, it's gonna be really boring. You don't want to be here. It's gonna be so boring. So boring.
The whole time
Medically.
you're doing this, Lester is mad dogging Dr. Vic, and Dr. Vic is looking right back at Lester, and he doesn't look terrified, but he is
sweating,
resolute and sweating, and is like, lets out a choked, I would appreciate the opportunity to talk to the captain. We have some medical concerns here amongst the refugees, and I'll need supplies.
My crew as well. I mean, we have basic supplies, but probably.
And Lester is looking at
no
you.
surgical equipment.
And
I'm very convincing. I'm so honest. Look at this face. Would this face lie about everything that they've ever done ever?
Sure, Captain.
Fisher takes a knee and starts going through Shillingford's pockets. And she's just looking at him. Let's see what this clown's got on him. And she's just like fishing through his pockets. He had a gun on him. She found his gun. He had another one in his sock. She fishes that out. And she's hardcore. She wastes no time. King comes around and is sort of paying attention to this whole exchange over here. Kennedy and Heston look on as a couple of things happen.
Oh yeah, I'd love to talk with this doctor.
Are you stand up on the platform, and with every step you take, there's a powerful, it's not just the acoustics, it's the energy of this room. It's almost in the very fibers of the metal that make up the beams that constructed it. The whole thing has a hum. You feel like you can hear the humming in the steel that resonates through this building. You can hear what little humming in the wires is happening on the emergency power. You feel like you're getting feeling back in your fingers, and you can start to hear things a little better in your ears. And you know that this is your console. This is your spot. This is where you're supposed to be. And Violet, you get a familiar feeling as you stand next to R in this familiar position of this brave woman who is constructed potentially the most powerful, according to her, the most powerful space telescope / microphone / communications device ever constructed. And you standing right next to her, her sister, her partner, her counsel, her number 2, steady. And there's this moment that is so familiar it's scary. The image of the two of you next to each other. And then you hear a loud clang. And Granger, you see the big guy drop his pipe wrench. And he is staring under the platform. And then you see the guy to his right, who was mad dogging Heston, put his foot up on the platform and lean forward. And then he reaches into his cloak and he pulls out a flashlight and he paints it under the platform. And Vernon turns because he looks straight at the pipe and at the wrench, and he has this look of complete shock. And Granger, you see him turn and take a step towards whatever they're looking at. And once the flashlight is in there, you see it. Its purple spine ridged against the lower part of the disc. And one by one, these three guys see it. And they're in shock. Even Lester is in shock. And they start to say mother under their breath. And Dr. Vic is frowning and he can't see it. And he turns and he fishes a pair of glasses out of his coat and he wraps them around his ears so he can stand, and he pushes this young lady back, tells her to stand back so he can lean in for a better look. And Heston whips his flamethrower over and a lick of firelight goes under.
I just tapped to Violet real quick. Yours, question mark?
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't panic. Yet.
Does my Xeno sees all of this, right?
Yes.
Do I leave it there? Or do I have it come up to me? I don't...
Peace sign? Like, there's so many things you can do to fuck with these people.
I think as it's discovered,
just pull it onto the platform with you. I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. As it's discovered, it stays there while they kind of have this reaction, and then it's going to like come out of its frozen state and just climb up the platform to R and I.
Stand behind.
The beast climbs the disc. Everyone in the room sees it. Flashlights are produced. Flame light flickers from the end of Heston's flamethrower. Some people stand back. Some people hesitantly step forward to get a better look. You hear a murmur through the crowd. Some say the beast. Some say mother. Some say it's time. Some say cakes of light. Finally, It's time. And they all fall down. Not all. Dr. Vic doesn't do it. His girl can't help but do it. She seems compelled to do it somehow. And they all except for them, all these people and even the three big tough guys, and after a moment, even Vernon, Lester, they take a knee and they bow and they begin to chant, and their voices begin to fill the room, and they begin to sway, and they begin to moan.
I grab the doctor and I just pull him to this wall here, because there's chanting, there's stuff to cover, and I just whisper in his ear, "Please start talking quickly. I don't know how much time we have." And just like leans over him to whisper whatever he needs to out while they're all distracted to me.
And he, like, under his breath, you hear him say, "Where in the hell did you get that?"
And she'll just say, "It's synthetic, it's under Violet's control. Tell us what we need to know."
And it's like he can't even hear you. And Brewer, you notice from where you are, you notice an older woman reach into a deep bag and produce another smaller bag. And she opens it up and she produces these small discs. They look like little chocolate lava cakes. They've got dimples on the top, and they're round, and they're about the size of a ho-ho, and they're grayish brown, and they look like they have oats and nuts, and some they seem to maybe even be stuck together like cinnamon rolls, and sticky and peel apart as they hand them out to each other. And they all take one in their hand and then mutter cakes of light under their breath and put the whole thing in their mouths and begin to chew this up. And slowly around the room, each one takes one.
If the doctor's distracted while they're doing this, I grab his face and point it towards me and I go, "That is unimportant. Tell me what we need to know." And just, like, tension. Like, I already told you, it's synthetic. It's under Violet's control. What do you know about this fucking... What? Tell me. Speak. Quietly.
Figure out when
Dr. Vic turns to you and looks you in.
I've got his face. He cannot look elsewhere.
He's got your face. And he goes, "We're already dead." And
With
that is
that
where we are going
attitude?
to end. That's where we're going to end it tonight.
That's where the Marines yell out, "Let's rock!" and they start just shooting.
That's when we all just
everything.
Oh my
leave.
God.
We just leave and nuke this place from orbit and build a new
Yes,
relay
please.
with all of Violet's
This
information.
close saying, I walk up behind Lester and just put a bullet in the back of his head.
Oh, it's so
what
tempting.
I
It's
was
so
just
tempting.
sitting
It's
right
tempting.
beside him.
It's
I'm like,
tempting.
They're all kneeling. It would
Now's
be...
your chance.
Yeah,
Now's your shot. You better don't miss. Aim high. Aim high, Granger.
Oh no,
Oh
man.
man.
Ugh.
This is wrong. So wrong.
Look,
Gosh.
I feel dirty.
Should
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll all go around and we'll say who we are, where we can find you, and what your favorite moment from tonight's game was. I feel like we barely started to play and yet we learned so much simultaneously. It's so tense. I'm a little sweaty, but it's cold, so it's not great. We're gonna go around. Let's start with our mother for this evening, with our game master, producer Trav. How was tonight for you?
This was so much fun. I appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate Mike, who is just sitting there with his finger on the trigger and is just so checked in. And I love the moment that you got. I feel this constant, like, the Marines, you gotta, I say it every show, that you gotta have them. You would, and so there was a lot of great little moments with the Marines. I love how Brewer is evolving. I love what even just the precious things that the Marines got to say. That it meant a lot. It said a lot about them. And the whole deal with this is just to try to build tension and then hold that note for 2.5 or 3 hours. And I really love getting to do that. And I love this circumstance. I love this dramatic circumstance. We've been working on this for a few months now, and we're at this kind of moment where we're finally at this really, like, oh no moment. And I just love it so much. And I appreciate the opportunity to do it. And we're going to do it again in February. And I want to thank Ray for being our awesome guest star. And we've had so many amazing guests on the show, and are so lucky to have, I'm just really lucky to have amazing players. And I loved Granger's little moment. I loved how Granger handled it. And it's all starting to come together. So I appreciate all you watching. Thank you, Lindy.
Thank you. I had a blast. Let's go to our guest next. I feel like our guest has maybe some things to say. How are you, Ray? How was that for you?
There's so much tension, and I can feel like the thick air around me. Like I can feel we're getting there. and all the pieces are coming together and it's incredible. And I love everyone's little moments. Like Travis was saying, I love everybody's little moments, and kind of like me getting to see their characters like through that lens is really cool too, because it's such a high pressure situation. So I like how everybody's responding. I like all like little nods and looks and just like this kind of chemistry that everyone seems to have. It's been really fun to be a part of. And I've really enjoyed playing R so much. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens in that room. I'm so scared. I'm so nervous. I'm so scared, but I'm prepared and I'm ready for it. And it's been so much fun. But hi everybody. Hey, I'm Ray, or With a Brick with 2Ks. You can find me over on my Twitch channel. I do a lot of video game roleplay, predominantly in Red Dead. And I'm also gearing up for a move, so I'm kind of like in between my stream schedules and everything. But every other Friday, starting February 4th until like March, or no, it's like beginning of April, I think. I'll be in another Alien game. I'll be playing a mech over on the initiative order. So if you're interested in that, just follow me on Twitter and I'll have all the information there. But it's been such a blast to come back and play R, and I'm really excited to see what happens next game. I can't wait. I really can't wait. But thank you again for having me, y'all. And yeah,
thank you for being here. We appreciate you as R. And partaking in this stress and tension with us. Someone who's surely not stressed or tense. Brewer, how are you?
Very good. Yes. D20 coup de grace. You find me playing here Mondays, Tuesdays, sometimes here. Shoot. I think Brewer is probably the least tensed person here. I think it's just he's used to like dealing with explosives within an inch of his life at all times. So I think he's just on, he's just leveled. I liked when Thompson found his friend there, and I was just like, just go. I thought it was a pretty good part, and I'm really excited to see how all this tension releases, because I think it's gonna be an explosion.
Yes. There are so many other things I could say with the way you phrased that, but I'm not going to. Instead, I will pass it on to Nugatosaurus. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's Saturday night, play one of my favorite games, and it was definitely a doozy. Like, a lot happened in what feels like a really short amount of time. I'm Negatosaurus. I play Violet 6, the synthetic human. You can also find me here on Mondays and Tuesdays playing in our other D&D games, which are kind of coming to an end at this point. And my favorite part, I really enjoyed having like just a couple minutes with Brewer up on the platform, because I feel like Violet and Brewer don't really interact that much. So like, I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. But my favorite part didn't happen like in God, my brain, with words. It didn't happen vocally. It happened between Granger and Violet through their encrypted messages. I feel like it was a really big character moment for the two of them, because they've kind of been at each other's throats, and what was said back and forth will come up eventually. But right now, what was said back and forth was, it was growth for them, and I'm here for it. I really want Granger and Violet to be friends, and it has not been that way this whole game. So, but yeah, that's me. I'm very excited to see what happens next time, and I don't like chanting. Chanting is always a bad thing.
Yeah.
So
they were chanting when we came up here initially. Like, I don't.
Yeah. Not here for it.
Not here for it. Someone who I think is on the anti-chanting boat. Blaze, how are you? How was
definitely
tonight?
against. It was good. It was good. Definitely against the chanting, because things start to escalate when people chant after drinking the gooey Rice Krispie treats that probably have royal jelly in them or something.
I think that's what makes them sticky.
No. Can we just take off and nuke the site from orbit? Come on, guys.
Yes.
Please.
Yes, Captain says yes at this point.
Okay, cool. That's the deal. Next game. I hope you're ready. Our illustrious
we have to
DM.
get out of
We're
here
nuking
first.
it. Yeah, that's okay. Brewer will detonate the charges, which I love that, by the way, getting stuff ready. And I liked all the information gathering that was going on with the spooky setting we had. This was fun. I'm scared for our next match because I'm pretty sure there is going to be a plan B, plan boom. It's going to happen. And things are going to probably get thrown into chaos. I'm sure there's going to be a fight. So thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you. And of course, my rock, paper, scissors person that I played with tonight. Granger, how are you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's a tie. So we're going to figure that out at another date on another episode. But yeah, hi. Deception Check. I played Hank Granger tonight. A lot of fun. You can probably hear on Mondays for Mondays in Exandria, which is wrapping up very quickly. Tuesdays for Ravenloft, which is also wrapping up very quickly. And then here on Saturdays when we get to chance to play Aliens. Favorite parts tonight. I love that Brewer made sure to get an explosive down. I like to imagine that everywhere Brewer's gone, he's left something combustible.
That's how I imagine Brewer too.
On our ship, under every single one of the mess hall tables, there's a little explosive of some type somewhere. Everything is wired to go.
Brewer doesn't flip the wrong switch.
True. Yeah, make sure he gets his hypersleep or we're all in trouble. Mm-hmm. And I like the little moment with McKeelson. I love R. R is such like a litmus for the entire group. Just part of the group, but not, and is kind of like just existing as a ghost through the group, appearing when she needs to, and then not. And it's such a nice touch for all the intricate little storylines we have running around. And then the roller coaster that is Violet and Granger. I believe we're on the upswing at this point, which is really nice. Just a little bit where we've had some rough spots here and there, but even though she knew, he told her, and so that'll be fine. We had some conversations, and I was never going to shoot R, but Gray Boy might get a bullet. I think we're at that point right now. Lester. Wow. Thanks. That was a lot of fun.
And thank you. Gosh, favorite moments. One of my favorite moments was McKeelson is not the right person to talk to a lot of people. McKeelson should not have been made the captain. However, McKeelson was exactly the right person to talk to that doctor, and I was like, what? Which was fun. I enjoyed that. Also those big creepy gray guys, which we know why they're gray now, but especially the three henchmen, Wrench Boy and his cohorts, looking McKeelson up and down like, where'd you get that? I thought that was a great moment, and was like, they gave it to me, and they're like, they gave it to you, and I'm like, no one's ever gonna believe McKeelson, and I love it. I just thought that was great. And Brewer placing the explosive, again, another highlight. I liked it when R just subtly was like, I'm just gonna move to behind all of these Marines here. Just when tensions were getting a little high, like, I'm just gonna move to the very back, behind all these meat shields. I thought that was great. I appreciated it. Violet accepting messages and pictures from everyone all the time. Like, Violet is our cell tower at this point, basically. We're always like, Violet, hey Violet, hey Violet. But we know she can handle it. Because we know she's awesome and she's our android, damn it. Can't take her company or Marines, it's fine. We're gonna figure all this out somehow. And the revelation that that this is a cult of jelly junkies. That's what I've officially dubbed them, the jelly junkie cult. And it's not a great thing. So I can't wait to see again how all this tension is released. I have a feeling it's gonna involve a lot of running. But we'll have to find out next month. Gosh, I don't know. It'll be hard to wait that long, but thank you so much for hanging out and watching. Thank you all so much for playing, and Travis for GMing. This is a fantastic, lovely game that I treasure dearly, and I cannot wait till next time.